All right, guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to talk about the exception to the early withdrawal 10% penalty out of retirement accounts that is most commonly used if you're planning to retire early and actually withdraw the funds to use to live. There are a number of other exceptions if you want to, for a first-time home purchase or paying education expenses, or if your healthcare costs, like if you have medical bills over a certain percent of your adjusted gross income, things like that. But this one specifically is saying, hey, I want to retire early and I want to tap into my retirement accounts. This is the exception for you, okay? It's out of the 72T code in the IRS tax code. So it's called the substantially equal periodic payments, okay? Now, I just want to preface this by saying that this is complicated, okay? And so you need, more than anything now, I'm giving you a taste of what this is, that it's an option, that it's out there. But if you're actually going to go pull this off, you need competent advice, tax advice, to make sure you get this right. Okay. The penalties can be severe. So let's just walk through it. I'll just talk really briefly to give you an overview of what it's all about. But again, if you are looking to actually make this happen, go get qualified tax advice on this. Okay. So this is the exemption or exception to the early withdrawal penalty of 10%. It must be a series of equal payments. And these payments have to last 5 years or until age 59 and a half, whichever is longer. Okay, so if you started these payments at age 57, you have to go to age 62. Okay, if you start them at age 40, you could stop at age 59 and a half if you wanted to. Okay, so they have to be that way. If you make a substantial change to these payments, you could be penalized. Okay, you are allowed one change between a method of payment. It's got to go from any of them to required minimum distribution method. But if you make any other substantial change or withdraw more than you should or less than you should, you could get hit with the 10% penalty, not just on that year, but on all previous year withdrawals. Okay, so that's substantial. They're not messing around here. So if you make any changes, or if there's a substantial change to your balance, then you could get hit with the audit and be assessed a penalty. Okay. Now, one important thing to note here is that you can divide your money out among several IRAs and calculate the payment based on that balance. Okay. So, we've talked in times past where sometimes the IRS looks and they see your IRA money as just one lump, no matter how many individual accounts it's in. In this case, you can specify which account it's coming out of, and then you can just continue to calculate based on that account and leave your other IRA money out of it, okay, Roth or pre-tax, okay? So the three methods for calculating the payment are required minimum distribution method, the fixed amortization method, and the fixed annuity method. Now, the formulas for these are a little bit complex, and so I'm not going to dive into all the details. We don't need to do that right now. But I just want to give you a taste for what these are. All of these methods use the life expectancy tables. Okay, there are three that are out there: the uniform lifetime table, the single life, and the joint with survivor life. Okay, there's three tables that they calculate these on. Required minimum distribution method is pretty straightforward. It's just like the RMDs in the video we talked about then. You just take your prior year-end balance divided by that factor on the life expectancy table, and that is your payment. So if you choose that method, then you will get a different dollar amount each year, right? Because you're going to recalculate it based on the prior year-end balance and the new factor, okay? So that one's going to start a little bit lower, and then each year it's going to grow and get a little bit bigger. The other two are based on the life expectancy tables plus a determined interest rate that they have very specific requirements for, but you set the interest rate up front. The difference is that these payments are fixed. It'll be the same dollar amount coming out each year. The fixed amortization amortizes the entire balance over your life expectancy and does it that way. That's how they determine the fixed payment. The fixed annuity is essentially you take your balance and you divide it by an annuity factor determined based on the lifetime tables and the interest rate. Okay. So again, I don't think it's necessary to get into all the details about how to calculate this. I'll link down below to kind of a question and answer FAQ the IRS put up about these. And they walk through some examples of how to calculate it and the different tables and things like that. So if you're interested, go check that out. But more than anything, I just want to stress that you can screw this up. Okay. It's not a decision to take lightly, and you need professional help when you're making this happen. You don't want to get this wrong because you're locked in and the penalties can be hefty if you do screw up and you get audited. Okay. So I'll link to the IRS FAQ below if you're interested to take another look. I'll also include a link to, there's another website that I find very helpful. Ed Slott is like an IRA expert, so he does a lot of content around IRAs in general. So he's got some helpful content around the 72T and some series of substantially equal payment periods or periodic payments. So I'll link to those two below if you want additional help. But just know, as you're kind of looking into the future and you're saying, okay, I want to retire at such and such age, I'm going to build up my retirement accounts, that if you're looking to retire early, and early is before age 59 and a half, and you're looking to withdraw money from retirement accounts to live, then this is the exception most likely that you are going to be looking at if you want to avoid the 10% penalty. So when that time comes, work with a qualified tax advisor who can help you sort that out and make sure that the payments are clean and on point with the IRS code so that you are limiting your audit risk and you can make that happen cleanly. So that's it for this. We'll see you guys in the next video.
The goal isn't just retiring early, it's doing it the right way.